Hello Internet users, this is Chillafox. Welcome back to another episode. In the last video, we discussed how the developers like to have a particular name format for their files, in which the serial numbers appearing in the document represents the location, the name of the creature, and its model ID. So, based on the abbreviation of the letter, we can confirm that the demo shown in 2020's 30-minute gameplay trailer takes place in Heifengshan, the Black Wind Mountain. The Black Wind Mountain first appears in chapters 16 and 17 of the book, which is the first significant encounter after Wukong is released from the mountain by Tripitaka. However, based on the content released by the lead game graphics designer, Mr. YanKanXi, on his Chinese social media, Weibo, we found out the design of this level will probably include 3 to 4 smaller substages for the players to explore. For example, this early design graph pictures a scene in chapter 14, which happens outside the Black Wind Mountain, but it is labeled with GYCY, the Guanyin Monastery, which is one of the 2 important locations in the Black Wind Mountain. And today, we will focus on a particular boss in this chapter that might play a big role in the entire story. The chapter 14 of the book is titled Mind Monkey Returns to the Right. The 6 robbers vanish from sight. The story said Tripitaka meet Wukong and release him out of the mountain of 5 phases, and they soon were jumped by 6 bandits, which have some really interesting names, kinda like the 7 dwarfs from Snow White, where each of the bandits is also named after a characteristic trait. But since Journey to the West is written in Asian Chinese, it is difficult for us to determine whether the name of these thieves contains subjectives. For example, one of the bandits is named YanKanXi, which can be translated as eye that sees and delights, or my eyes sees joy, which he gets his name from his jovial and optimistic demeanor. For you to better understand their name, I will also call him Happy. So the 6 bandits' names are Happy, Grumpy, Lovely, Dark, Desire, and Anxiety. You can pause the video to take a closer look at their names. And if you look closely, you will realize that their name actually represents a classification of vices. Happy is vainglory, a desire to express a deliberate or pretentious display of one's abilities or accomplishments. Grumpy is wrath, a strong feeling of hatred or resentment with a desire for vengeance. Lovely also brings envy and jealousy. Dark could lead to pride and hubris. Desire makes you lust and fornication. Anxiety leaves you in sorrow and despair. This is called the 6 desires, or the 6 desire sins, which is the Chinese Buddhist version of the 7 deadly sins. So, the 6 bandits with 6 unique names and meanings would be the first important test to overcome and brings the hero one giant step closer to the ultimate goal of the story and journey. So, how did Sun Wukong respond? He swings his magical wand and kills all the bandits, indicate that he, despite being under the mountain for 500 years, still keeps his old form and makes the same mistake. He still has yet to understand the idea that with great power comes great responsibility. Being immortal also requires a spiritual path of discipline. And this is the second time he makes this mistake, where the first time he didn't fully understand Master Subudi's riddle and was ordered to leave the Nerling Palace. If you want to know the details of why Master Subudi kicked Wukong out, please tune in for our next video, which talks about the chapter 2 of Journey to the West. Now, let's get back to the story, where we talked about how Wukong hasn't had any significant character growth in the past 500 years. This is proved after Tripitaka tries to convince and teach Wukong the Buddhist way of not killing, but Wukong finds his teaching uninterested and ditched Tripitaka in the middle of the road. But just like the standard framework of storytelling, at first the hero may refuse, but circumstances, guilty, or realization will bring him back. After he comes back, the Buddha Sattva, Guan Yin, gives Tripitaka a magical hat, which, after Sun Wukong wears it, turns into a sing metal band and gives him a splitting headache if Tripitaka uses the tight flay spell Guan Yin tells him. So, with this cursed artifact to discipline his behavior, our hero finally crossed the first threshold of the journey, and there will be more to test his resolve. Therefore, the 6 bandits are the very first trials of wars to test our hero. But why do I have to spend an entire video talking about them? You see, there are some small characters with some really interesting character trials, and left with lots of possibilities for the game developer to reinterpret them. Remember the picture I shown in the early parts of the video? This picture is labeled as YanKanXi _01A, indicate a very early design of Happy. Later, the game developer released the following wallpaper titled HFS _GameShot _01A. The turtle-like creature with lots of human faces raised some of our concerns. Is this the new design of the 6 bandits? You can clearly see the different emotion expressed on their faces: rage and amusement, covetous and fear, desire and anxiety. But are they really the 6 bandits? We can't really confirm it. However, as times went by, the game graphics designer, Mr. YanKanXi, started to post this picture on his social media. It looks like a heavily edited meme face of some kind. But after we dig into the demo of the game, we found the following model. You can also see a couple frames of this creature in the 2020's gameplay trailer. This is just labeled as 06. Does this have any connection with the 6 bandits? Because there ain't many creatures known for using their eye as a weapon. Could this be the redesign of Happy? We are confused, but we still can't confirm. The final nail in the coffin came at an interview 2 months ago. On December 15th, 2023, the game developer released the following picture. And the monster in the middle is labeled as GYCY _YanKanXi _05A. So now we have it. We are finally able to confirm that this creature is indeed Happy, and he is named My Eyes Sees Joy. The most significant change during the development process is the way game designers try to interpret this very first challenge. The change also indicates that they might abandon the idea of 6 bandits and only create Happy, or they have also created another 5 equally powerful bosses awaiting the players to challenge. But let's hold our hype for 1 second, as we are not able to find any other model that closely represents the other 5 bandits or their character trials in the demo. So I'm sorry I have to disturb the hype train. On the other hand, this might prove our hypothesis. In episode 3, we came up with the idea that the protagonist is select to revisit the route that Wukong takes during his journey, by revisiting each location in strict order and facing the same challenge to find a way to save the world. Now we are confirmed that the 6 bandits who Wukong kills in the main story are brought back alive, reincarnated as monsters, awaiting the challenge of the player. But there is one more question. Why Happy? Why is he the special one? You see, if the entire process of this game is to revisit the same route or make us the next replacement of Wukong, the whole process will need some sacrifice. Sun Wukong learned most of his ability from Master Subudi, such as the cloud flying and shape-shifting, which the protagonist, us, can also learn from any other immortals. But there is one critical ability that Wukong didn't learn from anyone, the fiery golden eyes. When the Jade Palace defeated Wukong, he was burnt in Laozi's furnace for 49 days. He sat in a place where there was only smoke but no fire. Thus, he managed to survive the burn, but his eyes were smoked into fiery golden eyes. This enabled him to see as far as 1,000 li in the day and 600 li at night. Furthermore, he can see through any disguise, illusion, or transformation. So, how can we make sure that our main character possesses the same ability? Remember, Happy's real name is called Eye That Sees and Delights. Could this be the reason that Happy is the only bandit who appeared in the boss folder and appeared in the same picture as the other 2 bosses? Is the player able to get the fiery eyes ability after defeating Happy? If so, are we going on a path to save the world? Or are we just puppets played by the destiny? As we ponder the unique place Happy holds within the game's narrative and its potential implication for gameplay, it is clear that Black Myth Wukong still has lots of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Are these elements merely fascinating details, or do they hint a deeper connection to the game's world and our journey through it? Such question not only highlights the game's intriguing design, but also invite us to explore its mystery further. For more detailed information regarding Black Myth Wukong, including insights into its lore, character, and gameplay mechanics, please tune in for the next video. I'm Chillafox. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot for me. And I will see you in the next episode.